Dale, what's up, my brother? Halloween week. Are you gonna dress up this year?
Am I gonna dress up? Please. Yeah, I'm dressing up. I know you have a flight into San Diego on Friday. Are you gonna bring costume with you?
I really appreciate how much you speak things into existence.
Mm,
That is still on the table.
let's
Um,
go! Honestly, that's a better response than you've given me to this point.
yeah, it's still on the table. Um, Yeah, what's up, guys? So, welcome to another episode of What's on the Menu Daily. I'm Will Galvis. That is Josh Arendale, aka Dale. Thank you to all of our subscribers that have been listening lately and chiming in with our picks, whether they are good or bad. What Dale is referring to is he wants me to come to San Diego for the weekend,
Let's
and
go.
I'm definitely due for a vacation because I haven't done
Hey.
anything since I moved to Phoenix, which has been nice. I mean, Dale, you can you attest to this? You have been notorious for a couple weekends out of the year where you kind of go ghost. We don't hear from you. You spend a lot of alone time, whether it's sleeping, jerking off, doing your laundry, just me time.
Sneaky links.
Can you attest to that?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, it's nice. I don't know if there's another person in our friend group that has the discipline kind of like I do, where like you know this better than anybody, but they're like everyone else
Yeah.
here. It's like if I tell you I'm going off the grid this weekend, don't fucking call me, don't text me, do not like I'm off the grid. I wanted to go completely off the grid this weekend. It didn't work out completely how I would have wanted it to, but I was still pretty much off the grid. I mean, next weekend's Halloween, so I just kind of wanted to sit back, relax, strap on my seatbelt a little bit. Hey, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm excited. I want you here
Now,
for
did you
Halloween.
choose? Yeah, last year, you know what's crazy, man? A year ago was our COVID Halloween. Doesn't COVID feel, because now that we've gone out so much and a lot of the well, I would say the pandemic's still going on, but a lot of the restrictions have been lifted or not as strict. Can you believe that? Like last year, there was people that were like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do the parties, no bars." Like we have options this year.
We can pass that bitch like Stockton, literally all Halloween. Yeah, no, I'm excited, but I mean, all right, let's get into some sports because it's going to lead up to Halloween weekend. We have some big games coming up this weekend, but we have a good weekend to recap as well. Let's start here. World Series starts tomorrow, William. We have the Atlanta Braves making their first World Series appearance since 1999, and they're going to be traveling to Houston, take on the Houston Astros, my least favorite team in the fucking world. Well, what do you think? What do you got for us? Who's taking home the trophy this year?
Before we get into a pick, I guess entertainment value. So the Dodgers lost, which was magnificent, even though I know you're this new closet Dodger fan. I give it to the Braves, who made a flurry of trades at the trade deadline. Your boy, Eddie Rosario. Who would have thought? Who would have he? So Eddie Rosario used to be on the Cleveland Browns, or sorry, shoot in the baseball. Let me flip the switch. Used to be on the Cleveland Indians. Dale's beloved I guess Guardians now. I don't know when we're gonna start calling him that.
I never will call
But
him
he was
that.
traded over to the yeah, he was traded over to the Braves. Just went on a tear, and he won the league championship MVP. I mean, how do you feel about that? The Braves did it. They took down a depleted Dodger team who I thought was the pitching mishandled by Dave Roberts in the front office, Julio
Yeah.
Urias, Bueller, Scherzer. They were all done. They were taxed. I think that series before with the Giants took a lot out of them.
No, it did for sure. I mean, listen, I am not a Dodgers fan. I just like giving you a hard time more than anything. So, yes, I would have
Oh, I
liked
know
to
you love
see
doing that.
I would have liked to see the Dodgers advance just because I think that they have a better chance to beat the Astros, who are by far my least or my most hated team in all sports.
Yeah.
But now the Braves are here. I listen. I'm with Zoe. I'm a diehard Braves fan at this point.
Huge
Let's
Braves
go,
guy.
Eddie Rosario. I mean, I have never loved the city of Atlanta more than I currently do.
I okay, I was a little worried because I thought the whole 28-3 with the Falcons, Georgia losing in the national title game to Alabama a few years ago to Tua and Devontae Smith, the Braves being down 3-1 last year to the Dodgers. I was a little worried for the fan base. They still had to get through this World Series, but no, I am completely sold on the Braves. Let's go. They took down my nemesis. Spinning it towards the Astros. I'm happy for Dusty Baker. I think he's my favorite story so far. I understand that there's a lot of hatred with this team. He had to inherit a mess, so he wasn't a part of the scandal. He kind of just stepped in and said, all right, where's the mop? Where's the broom? Had to clean up a huge mess. For him to start his career with the Braves and his debut against the Astros, and now it's flipped. He's managing the Astros and managing against the Braves in the World Series. Pretty cool. I mean, am I excited? Yeah, I guess. I'm still going to watch it. Are you?
I mean, obviously, it's the World Series. Honestly, the
Yeah,
World
have
Series,
to.
it's baseball. The month of October is by far the best sports month in the year. But I genuinely
Yeah.
think that baseball playoffs are the best playoffs.
Yeah, it's a completely different atmosphere, man.
It's America's pastime. I mean, that's baseball is my number one sport growing up, and BDN and I go back and forth on this. I just love watching competitive baseball. Like 162 games is outrageously long during the regular season, so like a lot of games don't matter. But in the postseason, just you never know what you're gonna get. Anything can happen. But yeah, no, like you just said, listen, Dusty Baker, I was a Dusty guy for years. I hate the fact that he's in this situation now. But I genuinely don't give a fuck if he gets a World Series, if it's with the Astros. I don't care. I hate Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa with everything in me. If I could lock myself in an octagon with them for 20 minutes, I would love to. But I mean, dude, there was another cheating allegation against them in this postseason with whistles. Like, what the fuck?
You know, it's tough, and you try to look past all of those headlines.
Do you
think? Yeah, I try to.
I mean, when cheaters get caught cheating for me, like, it's just hard for me to support them. Like, I mean, they're
so that was the biggest thing going into the playoffs. It's like, how do you remove this stain? It's permanent. It's never going to be removed. 100 years from now, this is still going to be talked about.
Yeah.
And who knows? Let's say they do win the World Series and there's another scandal that John Boy or someone on the internet discovers. You know, that's just really sad. And that's a black eye on the game. I guess give me 7 games. I could care less who wins at this point. Pencil me in for the Braves. Freddie Freeman, who I hope's a Padre one day. Ron Washington, their third base coach. I also wanted the Padres, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Ronnie W. But overall, you know, October's almost over. We're Halloween week. Happy that they made it through an extremely long season. It is a very long season, man. It's felt like 3 different seasons, but hey, they persevered.
So you're going Braves in 7. I'm going Braves in 6.
I'll do this. I want 7 games. I'm going to do Astros in 6 just for the sake of this to get you going. And you got to have opposite decisions. My heart tells me the Braves. I want to cheer for the Braves. I think, and I hate to admit it, the Astros just have way more talent. They have better pitching. They have better hitting. Hopefully they don't cheat. They have a manager that's blown a lead in the World Series against the Giants or the Angels, I believe. So,
that's what it is. That is what you just hit the nail on the head. The Astros are just so talented that they don't need to cheat. And
why did they cheat in the first place?
Cheating allegations against these guys is what pisses me off more than anything. Like, you guys probably would have won a shit by now without this. And now it's like, I'll never respect any of you. And
that's the thing. Yeah. And I honestly, before this all happened, I liked Jose Altuve. I loved his story. I love underdog stories, how he had to make it.
I at least respected him.
Yeah. And now it's tainted. Because
and the thing that I'll never understand as well is how Pete Rose is banned for life for betting on himself. But these fuckers didn't miss a single game for cheating and winning a World Series.
Pete Rose was managing though, and he was betting on his team. That is illegal. So I see why. I see both sides. From a purist baseball standpoint, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Let's move on to some college football. Will, we had a good weekend. Anything catch your eye in particular?
Yes, the 9 overtime game between your rivals Penn State. Oh, by the way, plugging Big Ten week. We'll have more information on that soon. Our buddy Joe, who is a diehard Penn State alum, who kind of matches the intensity of love for college football like Dale does with his Aztecs, with his Buckeyes. We'll have him on. So that'll be a little interesting. I'm a little nervous. I got to make sure and monitor what we're saying. There is some rules still on YouTube that we have to follow and abide by. It's Big Ten week coming this week. But Dale, over the weekend, college football, 9 overtimes, Penn State ranked 10th. We're playing a shit-ass Illinois team who was favored by 24.
Shit-ass
I don't know how you feel about the college football overtime rule. They changed a couple things up to where you're going for 2, and they move it to different sides of the end zones. I don't really like that. Bad look for the Big Ten.
It was just, that was an ugly overtime. Illinois' quarterback got hurt. Penn
Yeah, they switched
State.
QBs in like the seventh. At that time, I'm like, hey, can we get to 10 overtimes? Can we get to 15?
I just,
Like,
I don't
what's it going to
understand.
take to get that far?
I feel like college football had overtime figured out when it was you get 3 possessions, the first 3 overtime from the 25, I think it was. You get to kick the
Yeah.
extra point, and then after that, you go for 2. Like I think that's how college football overtime should have always stayed. College football had the best overtime in the world, in my opinion. But now I don't really understand the 2-point conversions after the first.
Yeah, and then the fact that they can't even get in the end zone. I mean, that's so we and you were
That
going
was
back and forth.
that was an ugly look. Yeah.
Yeah, me and you were going back and forth on the whole Big Ten, and now Ohio State's back. Good for them. They played Akron and
We
Maryland.
haven't played Akron in a month.
No, CJ Stroud. Look, I gave him a hard time, but he's catching his groove.
We'll get there.
On this other headlines as well. The Army game was crazy. That was awesome. They scored almost 70 points, which was pretty impressive. Other stuff too. I haven't really talked to you since I think we went live with the Oklahoma Texas game. Spencer Rattler, RIP. I don't not RIP. He's still alive, but to his playing time,
RIP is playing time.
Yeah, for sure. The transfer portal, I'm sure, is going to be flooded with some of his input and name. Thoughts about that? Kansas almost beat Oklahoma.
I just don't think Oklahoma's very good. Like I'm interested to see where the college football playoffs are, rankings, like where teams are, because I don't think. I mean, I know they're undefeated, and I might get smashed for this, but Cincinnati, I watched their entire game. Like, yeah, they're a good.
It was a bad game against Navy. That was a bad game.
I mean, they're a good group of 5 team, but like, bro, they gave up 24 points to Indiana. Like, they won, I think 34-24. Like, is that really a top 4 team in the country? My answer is going to be no. I think Georgia's defense might be one of the best college football defenses we may have ever seen. I'm interested to see them go up. I mean, dude, they're tough. Like, I'm interested to see them go up against high-powered offense, which they should be getting tested here soon. I think Bama's Bama. Like, they had to slip up, but I still watched them against Tennessee a little bit. I think Bryce Young is really freaking good at throwing the football. The receivers and skill players are good.
You know, he's from LA. He's from fucking LA. He played high school in Los Angeles and is playing at the University of Alabama. Crazy. How are you not pissed if you're USC or UCLA or Oregon?
Okay, let's go to the UCLA Oregon game. UCLA lost, what was it, 34-31. That was a pretty good game. Oregon, top 10 team in the country. UCLA, Chip Kelly, are they getting them back a little bit?
Kind of. Me and you both bet on the Bruins. Very upset about that. The Ducks go into Pasadena. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, a DTR, he got hurt.
Yep.
UCLA is not back. We've had this conversation multiple times on here and off air. The Pac-12 just cannibalizes each other. They like 2 weeks ago, Arizona State was supposed to go to the Rose Bowl. Then they lose to Stanford.
Yep.
And then Stanford lost to Utah. Yeah.
The conference makes no sense.
Yeah, it's bad. And that's, I'm someone who wants the Pac-12 to be represented. That's why what you were saying earlier about Cincinnati, even though they're a group of 5, I would be okay if they're in. Now, betting wise, I'm for sure betting against them because I know they just don't have the depth and talent of a Power 5 school.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I love Luke Fickell. We're huge Luke Fickell guys, but I want to see new blood. Yes, absolutely. And with Alabama, that slip up you mentioned, Texas A&M, 2 weeks ago, they're back on track. Betting the first half of Alabama, by the way, I mean, this is no secret to whoever's watching this and everyone knows. It's like fucking Costco appetizers. Like, like when you're going around, it's like, yeah, do I want fucking chicken noodle soup? Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Do I want some giant saltine cracker? Yeah, why not? Oh, do I want That's how Alabama first half spreads are. They are absolute money. Other news in college football, my Aztecs are ranked in there. Just have to, even though they're probably going to get gypped out in terms of rankings. I think Pitt's ahead of them. Yeah, Clemson. What the hell happened to Clemson?
Clemson's bad.
Years of Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, and now DJ U. I'm not going to try his last name.
Yeah, I can't. He's not good.
Wow. And then Dale, I haven't talked to you on this college-wise, unless you have some other stuff. The USC job, Ed Orgeron, speaking of coaching jobs, he hasn't returned to LSU, but USC, we have not recorded since USC has dismissed Clay Helton. Does James Franklin go there?
That's who my pick would be. James Franklin, or honestly, I think they try to throw the bag at Fickell.
I don't.
I don't see
From what I've
Pickle
read and
going.
stuff, they need a name.
They need a name.
They're in LA. They need to get out of the shadow. I think that's one of the best jobs. Like if you had asked me, would I rather choose LSU or USC, even though I would be like a folk hero if I were to win a title in the SEC, I think I'm still choosing USC.
I
Southern
think that a
California.
USC championship is significantly better than a LSU one.
Really?
I do. Dude, it's Los Angeles. It's LA.
Yeah, it's the media wise.
Yeah, it's just a better. Plus, I feel like, don't get me wrong, like LSU, like SEC schools are great, but like they're not very like media driven. Like if you win a title in a media driven culture, like everything just opens up for you.
Yeah,
I feel like the opportunities are endless, whether it be like marketing deals or job opportunities or just even consulting, for God's sakes. Like there's so much money in media driven like areas.
No, you nailed it. Nil. These players, like, hello, yeah, you can go to fucking Texas, you can go to Bama or Mississippi, wherever, or do you want to go to fucking LA, the second media market in the fucking world,
right?
And capitalize? I would take the USC job, and this is not like being West Coast biased. Like the only reason why I brought the LSU thing is because like Ed Ogeron, other than being a total creep, did you hear about what he did? How he flirted with the pregnant girl at the gas station.
I heard he was bringing his girlfriends to practice too.
Oh yeah, and their stepkids playing daddy at a Division I practice. Yeah, during Alabama week, they're just having kids run on the field. Totally. No, he fucking rolled up to a gas station, hit on some girl in a tracksuit wearing a bunch of Lululemon. Turns out she was pregnant, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant and married." He's like, "So?" Essentially, that's what it boiled down to. Very bad look. But no, USC. I would take that. And it's just better. Think about if USC was finally good again. You can get Pac-12 relevance again, right? Because when USC is good, West Coast football is good.
No, absolutely. Let's end with this. We haven't really gone over this. Ohio State is starting to hit their groove. They're going to have two of the top four Heisman odds right now with Trayvon Henderson and CJ Stroud. They had they covered 21.5 against Indiana. They won 54-7. CJ Stroud threw for 266, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in slightly over a half of football. And then Trayvon Henderson had 9 carries, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns, while Mayan Williams, another freshman, had 8 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown as well. Ohio State's hitting their stride. I think we have a chance to win a natty.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think you guys have a chance every year, which I'm jealous of, but it is what it is. What I'm very interested in, there's a giant logjam of the Big Ten. I believe you guys, Penn State, throwing Michigan. I was just outside of the top 10.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Purdue is snuck into the top 25. So there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that are going to represent, the Big Ten in some New Year's Six bowls in terms of CFP format. Again, Big Ten week you're playing Penn State this week. That's pretty important. Obviously, the Michigan game towards Thanksgiving, towards the end of next month.
Hey, we have a gauntlet. We go Penn State,
you do.
Penn State, Nebraska, Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan to end our year. So we have 26 and 8 to end our year.
And look, you have the resources. You have all the players to do it. Am I going to be surprised if they go on a run here, maybe dominate in the Big Ten game and then get seeded into the playoff? No, I'm not going to be. I've seen this movie before. I think if you're going to find your stride, yes, this is a really good time. We're heading into week 9 of the college football season? Where the hell is 9 weeks gone? Wow.
I know.
Yeah, they are finding their groove. And I for your guys' sake, I hope you do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, NFL, let's recap a little bit. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Fighting Patrick Mahomes, are in big trouble right now. Well, they got their butts spanked by Tennessee this weekend. Are they done? Are they making the playoffs?
Okay, before we get ourselves, so Kansas City in the last few weeks has lost to the Chargers. They've got blown out by the Titans, who you were just mentioning. They didn't even score a touchdown. That was
27-3. First time Andy Reid
era.
I think Andy Reid era.
Yeah, there's a lot of concern with them right now. And I think this goes back to their offseason acquisitions and what their priorities were in the draft. They prioritized trying to strengthen an O-line to protect Mahomes because that's their investment. That hasn't really helped. They made some trades with the Baltimore Ravens, who I believe is probably one of the best talent evaluating teams. And if they're sending you a player they don't want, probably means they're not going to pan out for a certain team. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is hurt. Did they waste that draft pick during the COVID draft? Could they have used it for a defender? Because their defense, as much as you want to talk about Mahomes and them taking away Tyreek Hill, man, they're ranked in almost every last statistical defensive category. They are in trouble. Now, I don't want to rule them out because there is an extension of the playoffs. So there will be one more team. And if there's one of the teams other than maybe like Tennessee or New England who might catch fire, I don't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs. So they're in trouble. Are they going to make the playoffs? I don't know yet.
I mean, they're sitting at 3-4 right now. They still have games left remaining on their schedule against the Packers, Raiders, Cowboys, Raiders again, Chargers, Steelers, Bengals, who are turning around to be a pretty fucking good team this year.
If the playoffs ended today, the Bengals would be the number 1 seed. How does that make you feel?
Crazy. Yeah, so I'm with you, though. The Chiefs are in trouble. But no, my pops and I, let's move on. The Bengals took care of business in Baltimore this weekend. Looked really, 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 really fucking good against the
Jamar
Ravens.
Chase, is he just like Randy Moss now? The new Mike Evans? Like, he has... That was incredible. I mean, he has 800 yards or something, 700 yards through 7 games. No one's done that.
No, dude, Jamar Chase is mind-blowingly good. Where's he at? He's got 754 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Through 7 games.
7 games.
Coming from a guy that we made fun of who couldn't catch the ball. He said that there's no white stripe on it. Like,
yeah, he had a terrible preseason. No, the Ravens are fucking good, dude. 41-17 against the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. I like that. Joey Burrows, I was telling my pops today, I'm very impressed with Joe Burrows. He sits in that pocket, and if he had any offensive line at all, because that offensive line is trash right now, that dude is going to win an MVP someday.
Yeah, they're ahead of schedule. I want to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm happy for them. Happy for Bengals, the fan base, because I can only imagine how long they've been in the dark of just irrelevance. So good for them. They've been one of the biggest talk. This was a horrible weekend of football, by the way. Can we talk? I mean, so your Browns played last Thursday night. Dearness James Brown Johnston. Thank God. Like, he won me a bunch of money that I just lost all this weekend. Another horrible weekend of adversity betting. But dude, team 6 on 6 buys. That was bad. That was really bad. I mean, the average margin of victory, I think, for almost every game, over 3 touchdowns. That's horrible. Got to get out of that.
No, for sure. The last thing or 2 more things that technically, the Raiders. Are the Raiders a better football team without Mr. Gruden at the helm?
So we made jokes, not on here yet. It's been a while. I'm glad we recorded. We need to get back on. So we haven't been on since that whole email scandal. And we're not going to dive too much into that because everyone that's watching this to this point knows what happened. Shouldn't have done that. I understand it was 10 years ago. Dude, you're on an ESPN server. You're emailing the president of a professional football team. Don't be saying that. That's that simple.
That's easy.
To answer your question, though, are they better without Gruden? Rich Pikasha, I think that's how you say it. Rich Pikasha. Talk about a rally cry, right? Little early. I've seen this movie before with the Raiders. How many times have we seen the 5-2, 7-3, and then like post Thanksgiving collapse? Are they better with Gruden? Maybe. And now that we don't have this conversation of, is Derek Carr going to be there next year? It's tough. Jury's still out for me.
So I'm with you. Jury's still out for me. That's one of the stories that I'm interested in following as this season goes along, just because Raiders are 5-2 right now. They've looked really good. 2 weeks without John Gruden. That division is completely up for grabs right now, especially with Kansas City sitting at 3-4. So
they're last.
Definitely interested to see what happens there. Last but not least, William Galvez. Let's just put some hypotheticals out in the air. Let's say that you went to a football game to see a really good quarterback play, and he happens to throw a touchdown pass. At the end of this touchdown pass, a receiver runs up to you and gives you the ball, runs away like nothing happens. But that touchdown pass just happens to be thrown by Mr. Tom Brady, and it just happens to be the 600th touchdown pass thrown in the history of Tom Brady playing the game, and he's the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 600 touchdowns. How would you feel if someone came over and just offered you a nice little ball-for-ball swap there?
And I don't even know if he got the ball because, so great setup right there. Fantastic. So what Dale's referring to, if you didn't know, Tom Brady threw his 600th regular season touchdown pass. Technically, he's almost at 700 if you count the playoffs, but regular season, 600 touchdowns, an incredible, incredible milestone. So Mike Evans caught it. He was a recipient of that 600 touchdown and ran and gave the ball to a fan wearing the beach hat. It was nighttime in Florida.
Wearing a Mike Evans jersey.
Wearing a Mike Evans jersey. It worked out. This was very interesting because on the internet, on Twitter, this got a lot of flack because a lot of people are saying the guy should have stood his ground and basically said, fuck off. No, I want this ball. If he gave it to me, you're in the heat of the moment. So that guy you're referring to, I think it was the equipment manager, came up to him and was like, hey, we'll give you some tickets. We'll give you some gloves, a hat, and I'm glad the little kid got it or whatever, but man, if he gives me the football, you better be giving me some cash, because if you think about it monetarily, if he would have kept that ball and then auctioned it, he would have made like $500,000, right?
I wouldn't have given that ball up at that moment.
Right, but it's happening so fast. What are your thoughts?
I would have known right away what was happening. Like either of us would have, I think. I think genuinely speaking that guy might not have understood.
I think between us, I would have been fucked. I would have been so emotionally.
I would have ran out of the stadium.
But you have experience. For people that don't know, you've done NFT. You've collected merchandise. You have sports cards and sports memorabilia. I'm not that well versed in it. For you to have that wherewithal, the awareness, I could kind of see why that guy did that. Now in hindsight, I'm like, dude, keep the fucking ball. No, either give me $500,000 because I just looked that up. That's what it was going as for an auction, because that's supposed to go to the Hall of Fame. Keep that or get compensated.
See, I'm interested to see what the rules are in the NFL for balls going into the stands, but I would have had a pretty good idea of Tom Brady has 599 career touchdown passes. He throws another one. And then if it would have hit my hands, I would have been like, yeah, I'm fucking out of here. See ya.
Yeah, it's
sprinted to my car.
It's and that's the thing, man. It was game played. It was game used. Just think about the millions of footballs that they just print out like anything, right? They have the NFL, that's not even a problem. It's like a factory full of footballs.
Yeah.
But the fact that he actually threw that was the game used, game fucking time. He broke the record. He's no player's done 600 touchdowns, which is insane, by the way. Besides the guy, Tom Brady,
it just would have been hard to authenticate at that point, but somebody you can get that authenticated.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it sounds like I would have sold it. I
100%. They would have had to give me the house, and I would have explained that to them. We can go sit down and negotiate, but this is mine now.
See, and that's the smart thing. You know that, and technically, that is a great question. What are the rules? Is there an official? Is there a stadium?
As crazy as it is, Will, fair trade for that could be like a Super Bowl ring.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
By
Tom Brady, 600 TDs. That's a big deal.
Huge. I don't know. I feel bad for that dude. I do feel he got bamboozled.
He got fleeced.
He got bamboozled.
It was bad. Hoodwinked. Think of everything. The Stephen A. Smith. We were bamboozled, hoodwinked, all of that. It was.
That wasn't a fair trade. Not a fair.
No,
trade.
Not at all. No. He gets $500,000 or
if I'm Tom Brady, I am blessing that guy's Venmo.
I would too. And we're not going to find out, or maybe we will years from now, but
I don't know.
A quick thing though, Tom Brady, wow. 44, playing better than he was when he was 24. I mean, dude, he might throw for 700 touchdowns.
He's so good. I don't even know what else to say. He's just so fucking good.
I just bought it.
Yeah, it's bad. Guys, don't forget to give us a follow, though, at wotmdaily, Twitter, TikTok, Apple, Spotify, at Will Galvez, at Arendelle _ at JP25 Media. We have an unbelievable week of sports coming back at you. Hopefully, Will and I have time to hop back on the microphone before Big Ten week comes on. Hopefully, we can get Joe on here so I can talk my shit to him. But
I'm not ready for that.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Have a good week, guys. Will, I will see you on Friday.